Before I get into my message, Dicky and I were over there last week doing a little tweaking here and there, and he shared an experience with me, and seeing how my last sermon last week was focusing quite a bit on love. I've asked him if he would come and share that experience because it blessed my heart, and I believe it will bless your heart also. Would you come up here, Dicky, and share that?
Thank you. All right. Morning. Morning, sir. Yeah, we were over there doing a little work, a little cleanup, a little repair work, and just talking and chatting, and started talking about the service from Sunday, and what a great service it was about love. And I had love described to me one time from God, and he told me the definition of love, and it's something that I'll never forget, but I shared it with Charles. And back in 2000, I think it was 2011, we had a Hurricane Irene. You know, I think most of us in here remember that, lived through it, probably got a lot of damage. Irene was a bad one. Well, we lived just up here in the Blunt's Creek area, and we got hammered pretty hard. And we have, our yard's about 2 acres, and we had 27 trees down in our yard, and I'm talking about big trees. Some of them, you know, 2 or 3 people couldn't put their arms around. And we had 27 trees in our yard. There were trees laying everywhere. 3 of them were on the house. And there were trees everywhere. And, you know, you look at that and you're just crushed. You know, there's no way I can put it back. There's no way I can fix it, you know. You know, I'm just a person. And you're overwhelmed. You know, you feel like you're defeated. And so anyway, a day or 2 later, the phone rang. And at the time, we were attending church up in Greenville, Re-Image. It used to be Faith and Victory. We were going to church there. And the phone rang, and it was the pastor's wife, Deborah Zabowski. And she said, I understand you guys got a lot of damage. And Julie said, yeah, we did. And she said, well, would it be okay if the youth group were to come down on Saturday and help you out some? We said, sure, we'd love to have them. So it's Saturday morning, and we're expecting, you know, some youth to come in. You know, to be honest, I was expecting probably about maybe 5 or 6, you know, teenagers to come in. They were going to be there at like 9 o'clock, I think. Well, at 9 o'clock, I'm in the yard. And the cars started pulling in, and the cars kept coming, and the cars kept coming, and trucks pulling trailers, you know, were coming, and they were parking all up and down the road and everything. And when they got out and they had their rakes and their shovels, and they had everything they needed, and they got out and started working, and I was trying to count them the best I could that day. And there was somewhere around 50 people either cleaning our yard up. I mean, raking up the stuff that came out of the wetland, all that old reed and mess that just matted the whole yard. They were getting all that up. There were 13 chainsaws going.
Oh my. Oh my.
You can do some damage with 13 chainsaws. And there were and Julie likes to tell this. 13 chainsaws were going, and we had, by the end of the day, we had gotten to the point where we recognized the sound of each chainsaw. I could be across the land over there and hear somebody crank up, and I said, "Oh yeah, that's Jim Fry." we had learned the sounds of everybody's chainsaw. Yeah, but so anyway, 50 people cleaning. And I mean, in our house, the bottom floor is a garage in my shop, and it's built for, you know, when it does flood. So the water came in there knee deep, And when it went out, it left mud.
Yep.
So all that had to be washed out, Cloroxed. You know, they did all, and it wasn't, by the way, it wasn't 50 youth. It was 50 people. There were some youth, there was some, grown-ups. But they washed all that mud out. They Cloroxed, they raked, they cut the trees, they hauled them off.
Wow.
50 people can do a lot of work in a day. And at the end of that day, the yard looked totally different than it did that morning. I mean, totally. I had some stumps I had to do something with. I needed to get somebody in to cut some stumps up. But the yard was basically clean. And so Sunday morning, I got up. I like to get up kind of early and go over to the waterfront and have a cup of coffee. And I was over at the water having a cup of coffee and just looking around at everything, and how clean and beautiful everything was. And I sat down on the stump. I was drinking my coffee and I was praying, talking to God. And, I was looking around and I was really just overwhelmed with all of it. And I said, God, this is, and I was trying to think of a big, powerful word. I said, God, this is awesome, God. This is awesome. And then I said, no, awesome's not big enough. I want a bigger word. And I was trying as hard as I could to think of a bigger word that had more letters in it. I thought that was a bigger word. And I was thinking, this is bigger than awesome. And I heard him just as clear as I can hear you. He said, the word you're looking for is love. And I said, wow. And my eyes teared up, and I said, wow, that's love. That's what I saw, that's what I experienced was love. You have faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. Yeah, so
Wow.
that was the story I shared with Charles.
I think Jesus deserves a hand with that one. As we looked in our study last week, Jesus' words were, by this shall men know that you are my disciples, if you have love one for another. And of course, the past 4 weeks, the topic was, how do we get through these times? How long would it have taken you, Dicky, to do that by yourself?
I was just sitting here thinking, there were people cleaning my yard. I looked out and I saw people cleaning my yard up, and I didn't even know their name.
Wow.
I didn't know their name. I don't know that person.
How are we going to get through these times?
Love.
Love. And whatever else is coming down the road. Whatever else is coming down the road. If you have love one for another. And it's about, of course, blessing each other and being encouraging to each other. But it's also about that testimony to other people that we are His disciples. We're not insincere. We're not faithless. We're honest, and we are filled with faith, and we have love one for another. And the reason we have that love is because, like John said, He loved us first. I think that's just, it about made me cry. That's an awesome testimony.